Hello, each and every one of you, and welcome to Manifestation Monday. Here we are. And yeah, we are a little later this time, and I'll tell you why. Because there have been those who contact me and say, Zelda, I can't make it at 1 o'clock, and then I always miss the replay. Can you make it a little later? And actually, YouTube recommends this time slot. So what we'll be doing is going back again to 1 p.m. next Monday to just make sure that we catch each and every one. But that's okay. We are here right now. And so hello to everyone. Welcome in. It's time to manifest. It's time to manifest. And I'm reading in the chat everything that's going on, and it's kind of, I'm smiling because I know exactly what is happening, because it's been happening to me. So welcome. But first, I want to make an announcement. If you will please do me a favor and subscribe to this channel, click the thumbs up, hit the notification bell, and make sure you do it on your devices. Like if you do it on your iPad, make sure you do it on your phone, because I think that's why sometimes that is why we don't get our notifications, because it's kind of weird like that. And that's what I was told by YouTube. Okay, so not everybody has an iPad, not everybody has a computer, and they just watch from their phone, and that's okay. So we're here now, and that's the important thing. Secondly, when we reach 4,000 subscribers, and we're almost to 3,200 right now, I'm going to be giving away a reading for one of you. And so I would just love it to give that reading away to you. Yes, you, my darling. And you can manifest this, and we can do it. And that's exactly what we will do, because we appreciate you being here, and we want to grow this channel so that way you can get life predictions, help, meditations, all kinds of great things. And then you can pop back and forth from channels, and you'll have the best of both worlds. You won't have to do anything more. That's the way it is. So anyway, thank you, each and every one of you. Welcome to Fate and Fortune with True Oracle. I am Lady Zelda Kelly, and today is March the 3rd. Can you believe it? It's like I woke up this morning and thought, March 3rd, what on earth? March 3rd. Here we are. So we're going to manifest your glasses. For those of you who are in the chat and who have lost glasses, we're going to claim it. I'm so glad that you found your glasses. I'm so glad you found your glasses. That's great. You know what? That works for me. That works for me. So there we go, my darling. So I'm so glad that you do happy chats. I'm so glad, and thank you so much. When you're coming in, please click the like button. That helps us. So what is this all about now? Come on, Zelda. Mercury Retrograde again. Yes, it's the first one for 2025. And of all things, it is coming around March 15th. Now, we are in a little mini shadow period. So for those of you who do not know, pardon me, who do not know what a Mercury retrograde is, Mercury is the planet of communication. And while it's going in its orbit, and all planets do this, but Mercury is a little stinker because it is the planet of communications. And the reason it's a little stinker is because retrograde is just like an illusion of going backwards. Actually, what happens, it slows down in orbit So when all the other planets are going around, it's almost an optical illusion. See, I can't even talk. Optical illusion. So where it looks like it's going backwards and all the other planets are going frontward. Now, it's not that severe, but what happens during a Mercury retrograde is that communications are messed up, technical issues with lights, computer, phones, even the mail, you name it. This is a time where you have to follow up on everything. For me, I was born during a Mercury retrograde, and funny enough, this is the year where the planets are almost the same as what it was during my birth time. Mercury goes retrograde on March 15th, which happens to be my birthday. We have a lunar eclipse and a solar eclipse. I was born between the two. So if this time for you, my darling, you were sitting on them, amazing. There you go. There you go. See, you found your glasses. That's wonderful. So during this time, I have to write myself a little note, okay? Follow up, follow up, follow up. So if I send an email, I make sure if I don't get a response that I follow up. If I put an attachment to an email, then I make sure that I sent the attachment and that person gets the attachment. Then I make sure, you see what I mean? If I call somebody and they don't call me back, I text them and say, when will you be available for my call? Because most times I hear, oh my gosh, I didn't even get your text, or I didn't get your call. Sometimes computers go on the blink. Sometimes the iPad goes on the blink. Sometimes the internet even goes out. And who all knows what goes on into the cosmic unknown? So why am I telling you all this? Well, when you are manifesting, this is a very important time. Now, you can still manifest. During a Mercury retrograde, you have to be a little careful. You have to sign things carefully. Make sure you read the fine print. Make sure you know what you're doing. Make sure you know where all your money is going to. Make sure that, blah, 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 right? Hello. Make sure you even follow up on your own self. So there you go. It's just called accountability. That's all it is. Now, why is this so important? I'm going to lean. First of all, I got to tell you something funny that happened after my stream. I was, and this is when the shadow period came out, my stream last Saturday that all of you were here. My goodness, you guys. Now, this is funny now. At the time, it wasn't so funny. So my son comes out and he's asking me, how did the stream go, Mom? How's everything? And I picked up my ring light and I picked it up to the point where I was wrapping the cord around and the ring light was loose and plopped on the top of my head. And I'm telling you, I saw stars. I was the one who thought, oh, heck, I'm going in an orbit. It hurt so bad. I had to go lay down. Now it's funny. I have a little nasty little bump, kind of a blister here. And I had a couple of, my eyes are a little black. That's around there. But you know what? It's okay. We're here. That kind of stuff happens. Be careful. Be careful. And I'm thinking, because I'm not accident prone like that. And then I thought, oh, okay, there's a lot of energy around here. And boom, there we go with the light. So if something like that happens, well, first of all, call your doctor. I called my doctor. She says I'm okay. It's just one of those things. Just one of those things. It just happens. So I knew straight away that it was Mercury retrograde. Hello. Now we are in a shadow period. And what does the shadow mean? It's a shadow period means that you are preparing for the real whammy of the direct. Now, I got to also tell you this. Venus went retrograde March 1st. What does Venus mean? Well, Venus going backwards, so to speak, can mean that your love life feels like it's kind of all wonky. Your love life can feel like, oh, heck, what the heck? Communication may be upset. Now we've got this and this and this going retrograde. So all planets go retrograde. So how does this manifest in with manifestation? Well, things slow down. You will probably have and feel some delays. Now, as far as relationships are concerned, I have to tell you this. 99.9% of the time, an ex will come back in your life, or they will be searching you out on the internet, or you will be searching them out on the internet, or you'll be haunting their social media and vice versa. But be cautious, because during this time of a retrograde, and if you are trying to manifest, right? If you are trying to manifest a relationship with someone and an ex comes back, be cautious, because the Mercury retrograde ends April 6th. And once Mercury goes direct again, which means back into place, usually those people, the exes, kind of wane off, or they just fade away, or it's just not something that they want again. So be cautious. Be cautious with investing, not only in money, but also in relationships, because it is a little tense. So that's why I wanted to come on here and tell you about Mercury retrograde. So the shadow period is like this prep period. It's like, oh my gosh, am I walking around with a lampshade on my head? With me, it's walking around with a ring light on my head. But walking away, am I walking around with this? So, Amy, you have a great question, and we're getting to this. Aren't the pros to retrograde time to redo, reset, re, or no? Yes, kind of, sort of. And I think that's a great question, Amy. It is a time of reflection. It is a time of going back through your journal and saying, do I really want to manifest this? Do I really want to do this? Is this something that I really want? Can I rejuvenate myself? Can I reinvent myself? And that's this time. Why is it so good? Actually, I'm going to tell you, this is one of my favorite times to manifest. And I know, Zelda, whatever. Here, stop. Let's hear the tires screeching. No. Yes, as a matter of fact, it is. Why? Because you slow down. You slow down enough, just like Mercury, to take into an account what it is that you're trying to manifest. Now, you know I am manifesting a home for me and my family. This is the time that I'm going back and I'm thinking, is this something that do I really want that kind of a house? Do I really want that square footage? Because while it looks beautiful, who the heck is going to clean it? You see? Do I really want in that particular area? Maybe I need to go back and do a little bit of research in that area. Maybe I need to do a little research on the property taxes. Maybe I need to do a little bit of research on this or that. So it's a time for all of us to go through, because it's just really, when you think about it, it's a short period of time, like 5 weeks. But what happens after April 6th? Pardon me, because we are going to be manifesting through this whole time. I don't want you to quit. this is certainly not a time to sit back and go, okay, well, I'm just going to let the universe kick in because they know what it is that I want, and I'm just going to skippity-doo-dah. No, we're not supposed to quit. We're not supposed to fade back. But this is a good time to reinvent ourselves. And that's it. So Diane has a great question. Diane, so are we in Mercury retrograde now or starting March 15th? Very good question. We are in a shadow period right now. So right now, this is the prep. This is why sometimes we just feel like we're tripping and we're discombobulated and kind of weird things are happening. We may feel like a lampshade is on our head because it's a prep time until March 15th. So then when we go into, it's not going to be this abrupt, oh my heck, I'm feeling like I have lost my mind type period, right? Even though sometimes we do kind of feel that during this. We walk into one room and we think, what am I here for? We go back, we retrace our steps. That's what happens. It's like we retrace. Now, what happens after April 6th? Well, I call it the Mercury retrograde hangover, because once Mercury goes direct again, there is another short shadow period right after that. So it'll be right after April 6th. And that's the time where you're just going to feel like, what happened? I feel this weight that has been lifted off my shoulder. Gee, my computer's working good again. Gee, I'm not forgetting where I was going to go once I got into the car. Gee, so those are the things. It's going to be like, oh, you kind of snap back into place, just like a little rubber band. You're just going to snap right back into place. So now I wanted to mention this now so that you can understand as you're prepping for this Mercury to actually go retrograde, since we are in the shadow, it's starting to move into that phase. That's what that means, a shadow. Is starting to move into the phase. Now, here's the other rub. Right before Mercury retrograde, we have a new moon coming. And what does the new moon think? Well, the new moon thinks that they can help you. The heavens, can help you with your finances, with bringing in a new beginning. So we have a new beginning coming with a new moon, and then we have Mercury going direct. And here's how you can combat all of this, because we've got all these planetary things going crazy. And if you haven't read or watched, if you haven't watched, if you haven't watched the video about the March 2025 predictions, I mentioned all the planetary transits and aspects going on in March. So it almost feels like we're doing this. I mean, do you ever ride with somebody in a manual transmission and they're letting the clutch out and it's like, you're going, oh, okay, yep, okay, oh, let the clutch out slow. That's how it's feeling. And that's how it will feel a little bit in this March of 2025. But you know what? We've been through this before. We are just now aware. How many retrogrades have we all lived through? How many new moons? How many of these aspects? But there is an aspect with Neptune that going into, I forget even what planet it is, but it hasn't even been like that for 160 years. So everything old, my darlings, is becoming new again. Now, I'm not an astrologer, but I know enough to know that I don't know enough. So I invite you all to do a little research on your own, and especially about your birth sign and how it may affect you. But I'm here today to help you with manifesting during this time so you don't skip a beat. So you just go tickety, tickety, tickety right through this. So the thing too now is this. You just start smiling, because the moment that we start getting keyed up and anxious and upset. Oh my gosh, this person didn't get my email. Oh my gosh, they didn't get my call. Oh my gosh, they haven't called me. Why aren't they calling? What's going on? Oh my gosh, I haven't. What? I'm checking my phone every 10 minutes. Oh, what's going on? We're not supposed to be like that. Put your phone down. Put your phone down. And it's time for you to start writing. Time for you to start writing things down. And it's time for you to reinvent yourself. Now, when I say reinvent myself, when reinvent yourself, what does that mean? It can mean from everything from getting a new lipstick, right, to a new ring, although I won't be replacing this guy anytime soon. Anything from replacing something, a light bulb, check. And here's the thing I want you to do. Check the light bulbs on your car. I noticed the other day, I've got a headlight out. What? I didn't know this. I pulled up to a store the other day and saw the reflection in the window. Well, I've got a headlight out, so I've got to redo that. So it's kind of a time in which it's a maintenance. That's what it is. It's just maintenance. As another example, many of you knew I was waiting for a new washing machine. So 5 days. Now I'm the laundry queen. I don't let laundry sit around. There might be a dish in my sink, rarely, but I don't let laundry sit. It's not my gig. So what just happened? I learned a lesson. I learned a lesson in patience because I'm in an Airbnb waiting for the next step. And the next step, I'm patient because I know I want everything to not fall into place, but to come together. And I want you to also watch your words a little bit because many of us will say, well, that's right up my alley. Well, I don't know about you guys, but I don't live in an alley and neither do you. I think it's right up our avenue. Don't you think? It's right up our, not even street, not even, it's up our boulevard. It's up our avenue. So back to the washer story. My washer goes out. I called the owner of the Airbnb. So this is the thing to do. So now I'm thinking, okay, I call my landlord. Now, I let things kind of get away. I let some clutter build up around here. Well, I didn't want my landlord to see the clutter, so I start working. And the more I do, the more I'm liking what I'm seeing, and the more that I'm purging. Now, this is all happening during this shadow period. So you see how you can use it to your benefit. So I'm purging, getting rid of things, just things I don't need. Purge, purge, purge. He finally comes over and he says, look, I've got this video. I'm just going to reset the panel because, nothing is easy these days. So reset the panel. It should work. I put in a load of laundry. Next thing you know, I'm hearing this huge, great big noise. The washer has stopped. My laundry is in the tub filled with water and not draining, not doing anything. So I'm thinking, do I fish or cut bait? Do I get upset? What do I do? Well, I get my laundry out of that water. I wring it out and then I go forward and I dried it and then I wait for him to come back. So finally, he comes back and says, you know what? I'm so glad this happened when it did because by waiting another day, I got this awesome upgrade of a washer for you. So you see, in the long run, my washer taught me a lesson. Good things come to those who wait. I was able to take some things out, use this excess energy instead of sitting here and getting mad and thinking and this was going to happen and that was going to happen. It did not hurt me to sit and not do a load of laundry after 2 or 3 days. Had plenty. Everything was going well. And so this may be an example of things that can happen with you. Maybe not. You may skate through this retrograde, and I really hope that you will. But now I want you to really consider what it is that you have to do in your mind. Is there something you've been putting off? Because now is the time to do it. Have you been putting off maybe taking care of something, calling a particular person, doing this around the home, cleaning out your car, doing this, doing that? Now is the time to do it. Now is the time to spend the energy. Okay, so Amy's got a great question. If you are already in the process with something, from my understanding, you are good to continue on. Yes, you are. So, as an example, my house manifestation, the fact that I've been working on that for a little bit, and I'm not rushing the process because I know it will be perfect. It's coming together for me in a very perfect way. And as time goes on, I see, wow, if I would have made some choices a month ago, or maybe even 2 months ago, I would have been really upset because that would not have been the right choice for me. So now is the time. If you have already began something, started something, you're okay, but just make sure that you read the fine print, that you know what you're doing, and that you're not taking outside influence. You better hurry up. What are you going to do? You better think this. You better think that. Now, here comes a real touchy little subject. Let me get a drink first. You know me. Let me get a drink. Thank you. This may be a time where you may have to purge some friends. I know. This may be a time where you look at friends, maybe even a family member. Now, I'm not telling you to get rid of family members. That's a no-no. But sometimes we have to recognize that some things that they say may be a little toxic for us. And we have to know when we say, okay, well, thank you very much for your opinion. Oops, got to go now. Bye. And you know what? When you do that enough, they'll understand that it's something that you just have to work through. Now, the other thing is, my darling, it is time for you, I'm going to say, to clean house. Not only is it time for you to do an early spring cleaning, my darlings, because, well, the new spring equinox is March 20th. And look, we're just 17 days away from that. Hurrah, hurrah, right? So it's time for you to start a little earlier. So clean up, purge up. If you're stuck on something, here's the good thing about Mercury retrograde. It kind of does the opposite. So if you're kind of stuck on something, you'll get unstuck. That's for sure. Something will come in and help you know and recognize, oh, heck, I could do this. I'm going to unstuck it. I'm going to unstuck it. See, that's a word. I'm going to unstuck it. I'm not going to be stuck in this position anymore, because you know what? Sometimes we can be our own worst enemies. Sometimes we stick ourselves in a situation, a circumstance, a relationship, a career, or something that we feel, oh my gosh, there's just no way out. This is the time, bless you, somebody sneezed over here. This is the time in which the universe may just give you that little creative shove and get you over the threshold that you've been waiting on for so long, and that the only thing has kept you where you are is fear. Fear of the unknown. what's going to happen if that happens? What am I going to say to that person if this happens? Oh no, if I say this, will they do that? And if I do this, will they do that? And oh my. Well, I just want you to put this behind you. I want you to know that everything that you want, you will get when you manifest. If two things, you have to make sure that it is believable and it's not blocked. So when I say you'll get what you want, it's more like you'll get what you need. So if you say, well, God, I need $1 million, do you think that that is conceivable? Because when I ask that to most people, they say, oh no, I don't know how I would get that. Well, here's a secret. It's not you that's getting it, because what you already want already exists. So if you want $1 million, you can it's already here. So what happens now? We've got this Mercury thing. We've got this other thing. We got this new moon thing. We've got manifestation. You've got Zelda clicking in your ear about you can do it, you can do it, you can do it, right? And now all of a sudden, you're thinking, what now? Well, I'm going to tell you what now. When you pull back a little bit and you want to reinvent yourself, and you check out your surroundings and you think, do I need to reclutter? Do I need to reinvent myself? Do I need to do this? What happens? Because this is not magic, my darlings. This is physics. Now, we know some physicists that we really love, right? We know them from a particular case that we watch. And they will tell you that every action has a reaction. Every reaction has an action. That's how it works. And if you believe in the law of gravity, well, the law of attraction, the law of assumption, the law of vibration, the law of frequency, the law of reciprocity, there's so many laws. So if you believe in the law of gravity, well, all those other ones should be falling into place right for you. The problem is we are mentally conditioned that, oh gosh, we shouldn't have that. I can't have that. Oh my heck, what is going on? Oh my gosh. So what happens now? During this time, it feels like a little off time, but actually this is going to work in your favor. And this is one of my favorite times. And even though, yeah, stuff seems like it snowballs, use it to your own good. So what happens? There's a little thing in the back of your head, a little bundle of nerves called the RAS. It is, and I can't think of the word. See, hello, Mercury Retrograde at its finest. Hello. It is the RAS. It's some type of activating system. Hello, we're going to say it that way. And it'll come to me, I promise. That bundle of nerves deals with your subconscious. Well, when all of this comes about for you, when everything happens for you, your subconscious will open the door and start making a way for you. What does that mean? I want you to start small. If you want to manifest a cup of coffee, then you say, you know what, somebody's going to buy me a cup of coffee today. I'm just going to get ready for this. And you get ready for it. Somebody may send you a Starbucks gift card. So you may go through McDonald's and somebody may buy you something. It doesn't really have to be a gift card, or it doesn't have to be going through McDonald's, and it doesn't have to be coffee. But somebody is going to do something for you when you want it. But what happens is that your little RAS, hello, activating system back here will put things into motion so that you now move into the right place and the right time. Isn't that lovely? Just like the story of me and my house, just like the story of many other people, just like the story of some of you with the rice jar, with the water method, with the journals. You happen to be reticular activating system. Thank you, Jerry, came to my rescue. That is what it is. Thank you. See, Mercury. Here you just have an example of Mercury retrograde at its finest. We smile and go on. Reticular activating system. Jerry came to my rescue. Thank you, my darling. The RAS. Your subconscious will put you into the right place at the right time. There's no accidents when it comes to this sort of thing. There's no coincidence. There's only fate, and there's only destiny. Now, I'm also a big believer that sometimes we feel like we're not taking the right path when we are. I want you to know that that particular goal that you're seeking, the goal that you have right here, the goal that you go to bed thinking about and waking up about and thinking about it, and you're just not able to let it go, will still be there, no matter what path you take. It just may take a little longer. You may just come up to a crossroads. But the reality of it is, you need to take that path. It may seem like a mistake in the beginning, but the reality is, when hindsight is really 2020, you look back and you think, oh, heck, how many times have all of us met someone and we have prayed and prayed and prayed that that person love us back, or that situation calls for us, or we want to be involved with that and it doesn't happen. That is not failure. That is being guided into what is the best for us. That is the number one thing. What is the best way? What is the best manifestation for us? Because all of those situations, I look back now and I think, oh my heck, if that would have come through, I would, oh my gosh, I would just be, hello. I would be in such a world of hurt. I would probably be married to a guy that looks like Shrek, living in Siberia, right? Hello? Living in Siberia, away from civilization. That's an example. But I know that all of us have that little something, something that we think about. And then we think, oh my gosh, if that would have come through, I would be stuck. That's why sometimes we don't know what's good for ourselves. Hear me? That's why sometimes we don't know what's good for ourselves. And that's why we need to be guided. That's why we need guidance and direction in our lives. Because sometimes, and I cannot tell you, my darlings, how many times people will call me and say, Zelda, I had a dream and I just know that this and this and this is going to happen. How do you know that? Well, because I had a dream. Well, okay, I had a dream about my cat, and that's true. Shaggy in a dream came up to me like this close in my dream and said, Mommy, I want a dog. That is a dream that's going to stay in the dream world. Little Shaggy. But what if I said, oh, that's prophetic, and I ran out and I got a dog and I can't take care of the dog? First of all, having a dog in my life right now is not fair to the doggy. As much as I love dogs, the cats are sitting all over here. Actually, I live with them and I pay them rent every month. Right? But inviting someone else in, as in four-legged puppy, requires so much more from me, and it's just not feasible, nor is it practical. So the fact that Shaggy comes up to me and tells me he wants a dog is not prophetic. It is just a dream. So sometimes we don't know what's best for us. That's why when you write things down, and especially now, my darlings, here's the challenge. You go back and you look at things. You go back and you think, is this really right for me? Maybe this isn't why it's coming. And that is another thing. And that's why Mercury retrograde is good for us during this time, because if something's taking a little longer to manifest, maybe it's just not the right thing for you. Many people come in and they name that person. I want this person to fall in love with me, ask me to marry him, do this, do that, and I need him to do this, and he needs to be this. And the bottom line, they fall in love with a person that they've already invented in their mind. And the reality is that they're in love with the person that they've manufactured, not the real person. Besides, this person may already be in another relationship. They may be encumbered. They may be whatever the case may be. And is it really good for you? Are you taking on drama that you shouldn't have? Are you affecting someone else's life? Because that is also, my darlings, a part of manifestation. Because it goes through that whole thing of harm none, harm none. That means when you are manifesting for something or someone else, you want it to be for the best that they could ever have. And if something doesn't happen for us, maybe that's not quite the version that we are supposed to have. That's the way it works. I'm not going to lie to you and sit here and say, oh, yeah, all you have to do is sit in a chair and all you have to do is just think about it and it's going to come and you don't have to work. You don't have to do anything and you're just going to get checks in the mail and you're going to be. And while some of that stuff does happen, you also have to participate in the whole manifestation process. That's why this time of Mercury retrograde shadow period is so important for all of us who take manifesting seriously. And the fact that you are here and the fact that you are rewatching it and the fact that you want to watch this, you are ahead of the game. Because it is that important that while you're manifesting these things, boom, it will happen. It will skyrocket to the point where you think, holy mackerel, I never even thought. That's because you don't have to think. All you have to do is put your little order into the catalog of the universe and you let the universe deliver. And when the universe delivers, you don't get junk. You get premium quality. You get upgrades. You get good things. You get opportunity. And you might even get the love of your life. I've got a really great little story I want to tell you. For those of you who want to manifest a love. First of all, I got to put this. Jerry says, loves Shaggy. I'm drawn to him. I'll tell you what. This Shaggy Noodle is the most comic little fellow. He's got a blaze, a little white blaze on his nose. And I will wake up in the middle of the night with him just staring at me. Now, if you've never had that happen, an animal or a cat just staring at you and you wake up, you wonder several things. The first thing in my coming out of a deep sleep, as I think, is he about to eat me? Does he have something that he says to me other than he wants a dog? So I want to tell you a funny little story. I was working on another psychic line, and this lady from Michigan, she is wonderful. Her name was Lisa. If she'll let me tell you because she loves this story and I love it too. And I was teaching her a little bit about manifestation and she was just kind of catching on. She is a CNA at a facility for older folks, and she also was taking care of her mother at home. So she would go to work, she would come home, and um, she never got a break. She never got to go anywhere, didn't get to do anything, and she really wanted a relationship. I mean, really wanted a relationship. She had asked and asked, but this is a little lesson. This goes with the lesson of really what not to do. And when you just kind of detach, and we're going to talk about detachment next week, but when you kind of sort of detach and you're just kind of wondering, what the heck? What? Are you hanging on too tight? Well, little Lisa, she is adorable. She's she was over 50 years old. Her mother was elderly, couldn't get around to her. She would set her mom up in the daytime with a remote, make sure she had everything. She would go to work, come home, take care of her mother, fix dinner, and her days were just melding over into each other. And I kept telling her, you're going to meet somebody. You're going to meet somebody in March. This was 2 years ago. And she's like, I don't know how. I said, you don't have to know how. And she said, but I don't know how that's going to happen because of my work schedule and my mom. I said, don't worry. When the universe feels you are ready, my darling Lisa, then that person will come in and they will drop in right in front of you, and that will happen. I don't know. This just seems so crazy. I just can't figure it. Well, you're not supposed to figure it out. You're not supposed, and that is the rules, my darling. You're not supposed to be figuring it out. And I'm going to take a little sidestep here and say, you know how many people say, let go and let God? Well, that's one thing that we never do because we let go. We try to give it to God, and 10 minutes later, we're on the phone and we're saying, oh, you know what happened? Oh, and this and this and this happened and that happened. And oh my gosh, I've just got to give it to God. Well, you did about 30 minutes ago. Why'd you take it back? You didn't even give him time to work on it. So now we're back to Lisa. And thank you very much. Thank you very much, dear Jerry. Manifest this button pushing there. And thank you so much, my darlings. Thank you. Thank you. So Lisa is getting frustrated because she can't figure it out. She goes to work, she comes home, and she's getting frustrated to the point where she's getting angry. She'll call me and say, Zelda, I just really think that you're the brown stuff. I said, well, you can think that I'm full of the brown stuff or not, but when this happens, you're going to be fun. You're going to be funny and you're going to be laughing and you're going to be calling me. And it was that next March that she did. It was about 4 months later. She did. And here's the story. It was a Friday night. She was busy. It was late. She was late getting home. She rushed home to fix her and her mother their evening meal of food, right? How many people do you hear that? I want a meal of food. She was fixing their evening meal of food. And the stove went on the blank. Couldn't get the stove to work. Couldn't get the oven to work. And it's like, oh my gosh, what the heck? What are we going to do? Well, it was too late to call anything like a store or anything to have anything delivered. So, and it was a small town, so they started calling these repair people. Well, they called the repair people. They called a repair person, and his name happened to be Tom. Tom shows up. Lisa opens the door. Their eyes meet, and she's like, oh, well, you can come in. Hello. So he comes in, and they are talking up a storm. They're getting along just to beat the band. They are getting along. Well, by the time he fixes it, it is really late. And down at their local VFW, now the VFW, for those of you who are watching outside of the United States, is a club that is veterans of foreign wars. And, they go in and, whatever. It's a little private club. Well, the VFW was having a fish fry because it was Friday night, and it was in March, and it was during Lent. So he said, you know what? If you don't mind, I'll go down to the VFW and get us all a fish fry, and I'll come back and we'll all sit and eat together. Well, he not only goes down, he gets all this fish and all the fixins, and he comes back, and they talked and talked and talked. He stayed throughout the evening, the rest of the evening, and they talked and they got along. And soon they became tighter than Dick's hat band. There, you could not get those two apart. And the last that I heard, they were engaged and they were getting married. Now, that's how this stuff can work. It doesn't matter. When you put the order into the universe, what you want, and if it's for you, and the universe makes the arrangements, because you know what, my darlings? I'm going to tell you. When it comes time for you to get something, you're not going to miss the boat. The blessings will actually chase you down. You don't have to worry about it at all. It all has to do about timing. And that's what it's all about, period. It has nothing to do with anything more. Our problem with manifestation is we sometimes get tired of waiting, and we step in. And we try to manipulate, and we try to push, and we try to do all kinds of other things. As in another client. I had another client, gorgeous girl, single mother. She just looked like a model, beautiful, lived in California, blonde flowing hair, and nobody could understand why she was single. And she always thought it was because she had a little girl. And she always thought that it was hard for men to want her because they would have to step in because the little girl's daddy was just non-existent. He just didn't want to come around, didn't want anything to do with them. She had a flat tire in her car, and she had to go on an appointment, pardon me, because it was an appointment for a job. So she didn't know how to change a tire. She just didn't know what to do. And so she called me, and I said, look, don't do anything dangerous. There is a man right around the corner. You're going to meet them, but that is not what you need to be focusing on. Because she was putting everything else back here and focusing on, like laser focusing on a relationship because she thought that would complete her. And I understand that because she had a little girl. She wanted a family. What does she do? She gets in her car and she's driving down the highway with a flat tire because she had to go to this appointment. She didn't want to miss it. So what happens? Well, I was worried about the tire shredding on her going on a highway in California. My heck. She gets stopped by a policeman. The policeman gets out of the car and he looks like he's something out of a 1940s movie that would just make your heart melt. And he walks up to the car and sees her, who looks like this beautiful model, and couldn't even hardly talk to her. And finally, he said, ma'am, I'll help you change your tire. And there is this police officer, or highway patrolman, I think is what he was, who pulls her over and is changing the tire on her car so she can get to an interview. Not only did he change the tire, but he gave her a police escort to the interview so she wouldn't be late. And when she got there, he asked her for her phone number. Moral of the story, that was a few years ago. They got married and they have 2 little boys, and he has adopted her little girl, and they are a very happy family. So you see, it's when you're not looking, sometimes is when it comes in. It's okay to be laser focused, but remember what we talked about, just like with the rice jar. You got to set it and you got to forget it. You can't be harping on it all day because, thank you, Jerry, your reticular activating system is going to go, oh, okay, you want lack. You want lack. Okay. You don't want it. Okay. Okay, I get it. Because I want you to remember, my darlings, your reticular activating system back here, that little bundle of nerves, cannot discern if you want it or you don't. Uh-oh. So that when you're putting a lot of negative energy into something like, oh my God, I don't have enough money to pay my bills, and this is going to happen, and that is going to happen, and oh my God, I don't have and I can't buy any food. All this reticular activating system, all the universe hears is, oh, can't pay the bills. You want more of that? You're going to get it. Uh-oh. So you need to be careful and watch what you wish for, because that can set you back miles. The biggest thing to remember is everything that you do today sets the course for you for 3 days, 3 weeks, and could be 3 months, and even 3 years. Systematically, that happens. Why are you here right now? It's because of things that you did 2 or 3 weeks ago. It's because of a situation maybe a year ago that brought you here right now, that attracted you to this video, that attracted you to figure out, because there might just be one little thing. And if there's one little thing that you have as a takeaway in this video, then that's all you need, because you're going to continue. So that's why it is really hard work in the beginning, because we are programmed right from the beginning. We hear no, no, get out of there. No, don't go outside. No, you can't have that. No, what do you think? Money grows on trees? Yeah, yeah. All of those things. Who do you think I am? Rockefeller? My dad used to say that. And I'm going to tell you, I can remember my dad, and I'll share a little story. We had to farm. We would farm. My dad worked at General Motors. He's since passed away. And he never had enough money. Never had enough money to do whatever he needed to do. I don't know why. And my mother never could understand. He never spent it anywhere else. He just made wrong decisions. He had credit cards he should not have had. And I can remember him being on the phone, on a payphone. Hello, this was like 100 years ago. On a payphone, begging to raise the credit limit so he could afford to get groceries. And I grew up in that household believing that was normal. And that stuck with me for years, and even came over into married life to the point where I just needed to get money. I just needed to get money because I constantly felt lack. And then when I got it, it was like poof, it went away. Until finally one day I realized, gee, I was conditioned. I was conditioned to that. So you have to think in this time of Mercury retrograde and this reinventation, reinvention of yourself. It is time for you to think. I want you to go back to the troglodytes. No, not that far. Go back. Was there a situation when you were growing up that caused you to get stuck in lack, to get stuck in a place where you didn't think you deserved anything, or you weren't worth anything, or that it was never going to happen for you? That is the conditioning that you, my darling, you have to work out. You have to reinvent yourself, because when you start manifesting and to the point where you start getting it and it starts blowing your mind, you're going to say, oh, wow. Now, manifesting money, manifesting situations and circumstances is pretty common and easy for me. The house situation, because it's much bigger, is taking longer. And you know what? I understand that. And it's okay, because I don't want to manifest a house just to manifest a house. I want to manifest what I really want. I want to manifest what I deserve. I want to manifest what's right for me, and ultimately my family, and ultimately their family. So my darlings, even though you have a lot of work to do, you don't really have a lot of work to do. Because with this time of Mercury retrograde and this reset, the reinvention, you're going to be resetting. Just pick what you need to do. Just pick out one thing. Do I need to declutter? Do I need to reevaluate my relationships? Do I need to do whatever it is? You know how to fill in the blank. Take your time. It doesn't have to be overnight. Sometimes we can reinvent ourselves overnight. Sometimes we can't. Sometimes you're going to be pushed into a position, because I'm going to tell you something. What happens to me every Mercury retrograde shadow period, it's like I eat. Like I can't get enough. And hello, I eat what I want to in very, I don't go crazy. But usually at the beginning of this, I eat. It's like I don't get full. I eat. And it's like, what the heck? Oh, it is Mercury retrograde. I guess my body needed that. Now I recognize what's going on and I put a stop to it. That's the first and foremost thing that you've got to do. You got to remember. You got to remember. That's what you need to do. Hank's got a great comment here. Hank's Nefarious Nose Scrunch. I love that. Thank you very much for that name. I used to say sometimes waiting is the answer to prayer. Yes, it is. And now I am old enough. I need to start happening. If it's going to be at all. Well, my darling, it will be. But, sometimes no answer is your answer. And that's why we have to go back and reevaluate. Am I doing the right thing today? Am I wanting the right thing? Hello? Because you know what, my darlings, this really is fun. And I'm making this sound like it's work and it's hard. But you know what? It's just an idea of you. It's like this little creative whack on the side of the head. Hello. That's what we all need sometimes. We just need this little creative whack. And sometimes it takes us getting down low before we learn the lesson. We don't want to go through that again. We don't want to be on a hamster loop. Time to change. Time to change our lives. Time to be in a much better space, position, circumstance, situation. What you don't want to do, my darlings, is be in a situationship. A dead end road in a relationship is a situationship. That's coming also. So we've got all kinds of things. We're going to be talking about detaching. We're going to be talking about situationships. But when you finally sit and you can, and you may have to listen to this another time or another 3 times. And I invite you to send this video over to people that you feel that they need it as well, because it comes when we're supposed to hear it. And there was a time in my life, I got to tell you this, bad girl Zelda would walk around and think it was funny and say, well, keep it coming, Lord. Oh, and you can bet it kept coming. You can bet it was showing up on my doorstep. Problems, toxic situations, drama, money problems. Oh my gosh, relationship issues. Oh, it was horrible. And I didn't watch what I was saying. I would think I was a smart aleck and go around and say, oh, well, there's another thing. Keep it coming, Lord. No, I didn't mean it. Be careful. Your words matter. Watch what you wish for, and especially what you say, because, oh my gosh, you increase the chances of you getting it 100-fold. I'm here. I'm here to attest it. Because what you don't want to do when you get it in a few more years, to look back and think, oh my God, I have so much regret. Why didn't I do this? Or why didn't I do this? Why didn't I act this way? Why wasn't I a better person in a relationship? Why wasn't I better at my job? That stuff, push it all away, push it all away, push it all away. There's nothing you can do about it except anchor your past in your past, and you start living for today, because it sets the course for your future. Hallelujah. It took me going through an extremely painful, almost psychotic from another person situation, so I could finally learn the lesson, because I just wasn't learning. And finally I learned the lesson. It was like I was free again. So no, I don't have to worry about marrying Shrek and living in Siberia, because that ain't gonna happen. So my darlings, now, do you have any questions you would like to ask me? Because I want to make sure that you are good for this week, because you know what? This is a big week. Big planetary, big other events that are going on, and this is a big week, and I want to make sure that all of you are good. Jerry, I love this. My mom would say, people won't change until the situation gets uncomfortable. That's right, because you know something? The only time we ever learn is when it's painful. We never learn a lesson when it's going good. Huh? We never learn when it's going good. We think we're on the right track and we're just going to continue on and everything is feeling good. And then one day it just kind of goes ploof. And you think, oh, heck, what has just happened? And you think that if you could look in the spirit world, you would see your guide sitting on the sidewalk doing this, waiting for you to get back on track again. And then you call Zelda and you say, I haven't heard from my guides in a long time. What's going on? What's happening? Well, the fact that you're even asking is the first step. So all is well, my darlings. Things are going to start really turning around, but use this time as a healing time, as a reset, reevaluation, reinvention, declutter, declassify, if you will. Just purge, free yourself, and all of that good stuff. And then you're going to make way for the waves to start coming in. If you need a little help, you can find on this platform and others, but especially on this one, find you some 528 hertz music. 428, 528 hertz. That helps you. That will help clear things. In this channel, there is a guided money manifestation that is stunningly beautiful. I will put it in this description if you give me a couple of minutes when this is over and you can go see it. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Zelda, will you please make a playlist to this manifestation series? Yes, my darling, there is already a playlist called Manifestation Monday, and it should be in YouTube, so you can start at the beginning, and there you go. There you go. So yes. Standing stones, my darling buddy, spring is a rebirth. Yes, and spring is right around the corner. Spring equinox, we have 17 days. And then there's a rebirth. Hallelujah. I don't know about all of you. I'm ready for spring. I really am. I mean, I wake up every day and I think, is it too early to be thinking about Halloween? Only because I love the fall, not because I'm so Halloween driven. But I love that time of year. And before you know it, we're going to be sitting here saying, oh my gosh, here we are. It is September. That's how it works. That's how it works. So my darlings, give me a couple of minutes. When this is over, I will link that guided manifestation to you, okay? I will guide that manifestation to you and go through there. All right, so let's see. Zelda and friends, I have been using the water ripples caused by the different hertz in my artwork. They're beautiful shapes. Check out cymatic waves if you want to see the hertz you listen to. That's a beautiful recommendation. Absolutely. Absolutely. Okay, Amy has a question. What is the best way to clear ourselves from other energy? Taking a salt bath, or if you don't have a bath, you want to take a shower, use salt. Any type of salt, any type of any of that. You wet yourself down and you put the salt on your head. You can spray. You don't have to use a whole bucket, but you can just use a little bit. You can use table salt or whatever. That's your first time, and it's actually not bad for your skin. It's not bad for your hair. And you put it on and you just let it. Don't rinse it off right away. You put it on, and you know that you're just going to wash a lot of that bad energy right down the drain. And that is a good place. The other thing is to cut cords, cord cutting. I will go over that another time. So that is cord cutting is, and that's a metaphor, okay? Cord cutting is a very important thing, to cut those cords that we have that are binding us to other people, other things, other places, other situations. Now, as I have said before, okay, sometimes the reason we wait on our manifestations is because we may be waiting on someone else. Now, the important thing about that is, there you go. I have seen sound make art. I know it's beautiful. One of the most important things about that is this. I call it God's noun factor. God will use people, places, and things and move them around so things can work out for you. Sometimes you're waiting on someone else to manifest something before you're next in line. You see? Sometimes we have to do that sort of thing in order to be able, so that's why you have to be patient and learn that sometimes it's just not all about you. Sometimes it's not all about me. We are waiting on that God, people, places, and things. Moving places, people, places, and things, so you don't feel like you are rearranging the chairs on the Titanic. That's an important thing. So we have to wait on other people sometimes. Like the love of your life that you want to come in. Maybe they are just coming out of another relationship, or maybe they had come out and they're tying up loose ends. Maybe they're healing. Maybe they're looking just for you, but they're not quite ready yet. So instead of you getting upset and thinking, well, this isn't going to happen, I'm going to go out with the first person, I'm going to put my profile on a dating site, and you just get discombobulated and all this kind of stuff. And the next thing you know, here's this guy, he's waiting for you. Or here's this woman, she's waiting for you. So just like calm. Let it happen. Prepare. You have to prepare yourself mentally, physically, mentally, and especially spiritually. But your confidence is going to be a very important thing for you. So as we go forward now, we're going to be talking about that. Detaching is very important. And then cord cutting, we will be doing that as well. Yes, my darling, Laura B. Zelda, I have a question. Okay. Can you manifest something for your spouse, or is it strictly personal? You can do that. You can do that. You can manifest a situation or circumstance or for absolutely. You can definitely believe that they will have that. Absolutely. Absolutely. Why do you think that many of our grandmothers, when we're growing up, would plant seeds within us and make us know and believe that we were going to be more than what we had ever thought we were ever going to be? You can do that for people that you love, people that you want, all that other stuff. There you go, my darling. Okay, Zach. Okay. Zach's got a tough question, my darling. How do you live without fear? OCD is punishing me with fear, doubt, worry, and false guidance, interpretations, and memories. You need a higher intervention. You do, my darling. You do. And the first thing is, be careful about claiming it. Claiming it. Because, yes, you may need to have some additional counseling. But for now, I can suggest this. Don't claim it anymore. Claim what you already, claim it as though you already have it. I am fear-free. I no longer fear. I no longer have those memories that bind me into something that I shouldn't be. I no longer have doubt. I don't worry anymore. This is so wonderful. It's going to take you some time, my darling, but that's what you're going to have to do, along with any other type of counseling that you may be getting. Claiming as though you already have it, claiming, because what happens with that, and many of us in many situations, we claim the negative, trying to find help, but we claim the negative, which doesn't work. Because you know what? You can't put dirty water into a clean vessel and expect to have clean water. Or you can't put clean water in a dirty vessel and expect to have clean water. Because it just doesn't work. You have to claim it, claim what you want to be in the end. That's what has to be. Because you're searching. And I understand the search. But if you continue to claim what it's doing to you, you will continue to search, my darling. This, on top of the correct counseling that you need and that you deserve, will help you overcome all of this, because you know what? You are an overcomer. The fact that you are here today means that you are overcoming. You're already there. You've just got to put some things into place. And that's what you've got to do, my darling. That's it. Hank says something here I think is very interesting. The organization of molecules by sound is medicine as well as functional for moving stones. Matching hertz to cells is curative. It definitely is. It can cure many things. On this channel, I can't claim that. I won't. But I've seen, and there's a lot of great things. There's a lot of great things about that. So thank you for putting that up there. That's why I believe in listening to the hertz, vibrations, and frequencies in music. So my darlings, it is that time. I can't believe we're ready to go already, right? Hello. I love spending so much time with you. So please do me a favor. I know you want to. I know you do. Come on now. I know you want to click that like button. I want you to subscribe, click the like button. And you know what? Don't forget, that works for me, right? Anytime you are manifesting, well, that works for me. It certainly does. And I appreciate you being here. Next week, we're going to be talking about detaching. You do not want to miss that, because you're going to need that during this shadow period of Mercury retrograde. So hang in there, my darlings. And you know what? Monday will come quicker than what we even think. I love it. I love it. Thank you. Thank you so much. Lois, thank you so much for saying that today. We really appreciate you. Amy, bless you. Bless you, my darling. Thank you. Thank you. Rose Thorn, sweet. I love it. And what does this Standing Stones feller have to say? Because I love him. MRI is magnons. The wobble and the plus and the negative is each cell and water atoms. Absolutely. I love the techie part of this. You guys don't even know how much I love this. My darling, have a great evening too. Thank you so much. Lois, thank you. Thank you. And thank you, Laura, for giving Zach that message. Thank you. Thank you. I made a manifestation poster and I've had it for years, is what you said. Jerry, fantastic show today. I'll needed that swift kick in the rear end. You know, sometimes we do need that. Sometimes we just do need that little creative whack on the side of the head. I'm no perfect. I need it every now and then myself. We need it. And now is the time to get busy. Get busy. This is going to be, I'm claiming this for you. This is going to be a commemorative year for you. This will be a year like none other, filled with peace, prosperity, blessings, prosperity, integrity, character, and all good things working for you. There you go. Jerry will work for Food Zelda. You guys are so funny. Now I want to tell you, I'll make a little announcement, my darlings. For those of you who have ordered Kipper decks, we are currently sold out, but I have a little surprise for you. There is a video that will be emailed to you. It is exclusively for Kipper deck people, and it is me showing you how to read the Kipper deck and how to interpret some of the cards. That works for me, right? And you will be getting that. So I love this. Wonderful. Secondly, my darlings, if you would like to have a reading with me, you can actually get one question. Personal readings. Thank you, Marie. She is on top of it. She is in the chat and pinned it into the chat. You can click on that. But if you would like to have a reading with me, you can click on this QR code. you can click on the chat. Wait, where are we? Hello. You can click into the chat and you can get one reading for one question for $15. There's many services. You can go in and you can choose what service works for you. That works for me, right? So you can do that, my darlings. That is wonderful. And thank you so much. Now, we still have some little goodies in the shop. If you want to come over to the psychic shop and nose around a little bit, we're going to be getting some more. And we're going to go forward and do a bunch of things. So thank you. I'm just going to leave that there. I'm just going to leave it there. And standing stones, basically, I loved the pendulum so much the other night. I was working and driving on the way home. I enjoyed so much because I am much more familiar with pendulum than I am with cards. I am so glad that you are, and I'm going to be using it that much more. You know, you can kind of use it for healing too. Now, I don't do healing because I can't. I'm not a medical doctor, but I can kind of show you some chakra points, and it does help a lot. It does help a lot. Let me put that QR code back up there. So, okay, James, we've got a question. Am I in retrograde or just crazy in this upside down world? Oh, well, we're especially in retrograde. It's all of us holding hands in hand. That's where we are. James, thank you so much for being here. I love it. I love it. I love it. So thank you very much. Thank you, Mercury. Thank you very much for being here today, my darlings. And I promise no more ring lights to the head. You all be good, be blessed, be brave. You know how that is. And I'm going to see you the next time in Manifestation Monday. Don't miss it, because we're going to be talking about detaching during this time, and actually every time. You can't miss it. It's that important. So now, my darlings, go get some rest. If you need to pass this over to someone, please do so. Give me a minute. I'm going to pin that guided, how do I want to say, that guided a little meditation thing for you in the description, and it is for money. You're going to love it. They're going to love it. Standing stones. You are adorable. Zelda's like balancing force in an uneasy time. She knows. Well, hello. I think I'm doing it. I think I'm doing it. And you know what? If you follow me for another 65 years, I think I'll have it down pat, right? Oh, my darling, here we go. Zelda, do we need to ask a question, or can we just chat and pay for the time spent? Usually, well, that's if you call me, my darling. You can call me. You can go over to, let me put the, if you go over to this website, you can see when I'm available and you can call me. You can chat if you want to. You don't have to ask any questions. But the QR code is for a video. So if you have some questions, then what I do is I read the cards, just like when you see my videos. I read the cards, and then I give you an exclusive. You only get it. It's unlisted. I give you the exclusive video link, and it's yours to keep and share and do whatever with whatever. So you're welcome to do whatever you want to do, my darling. But if you want to talk to me personally, you can. We have first-time caller rates that, I mean, good grief. You can talk to me for 10 minutes for less than what calls it, for less than a Starbucks coffee. So you can chat. You can, whatever you like to do, my darling, is up to you. But don't forget, we've got a lot of really great things coming out. Love it, love it, love it. So there we go, my darlings. Thank you so much for being here. I love each and every one of you so much. You guys make my day when we do this, right? You just make my day. Next Monday, we'll be back at 1 o'clock. We'll be back at 1 o'clock. So that way, you know, we may alternate because there's a lot of people that can't come in at 1. But don't forget, subscribe, like, do all those YouTubey things and manifest, because that's what we're here to be doing. Attract. You are a magnet. Money finds you no matter what. Peace, love, joy finds you. And you know what? I'm going to find you again, and I will see you very, very soon.